So I wanted to agree with what Heidi was saying, that right now people can't really afford anything with the current minimum wage, and they especially cannot afford housing. So according to a report from 2015 from the National Low Income Housing Coalition, a worker must earn at least $15.50 an hour to be able to afford to rent a modest one-bedroom apartment, and $19.35 for a two-bedroom unit. And in no state can an individual work a typical 40-hour work week at a federal minimum wage and afford a one or two bedroom apartment for his or her family. And in California, even a person earning the state minimum wage right now, they would need to work at least like 92 hours to afford rent and afford other necessities that they need. So my opponent also talked about inflation again, so I would like to bring up some points about that. It would actually reduce employee turnover. So Michael Reach, a researcher for labor and employment, says that a minimum wage increase simultaneously reduces employee turnover, which reduces employers' costs, and it increases worker purchasing power, which stimulates consumer demand. And to continue what I was explaining, how minimum wage would reduce socio-economic problems in the world today let me explain all the benefits of raising minimum wage. So raising minimum wage would raise every worker's pay. Farrell Shane says, from her Huffington Post says, almost 18 million individuals are employed in the country's largest state economy, and 118,000 of them make the minimum wage or less. Further, unlike federal law, California law does not permit employers to pay tip workers a lower minimum wage. That means a hike to $15 would apply to the state's tipped workers as well. And there would be like a huge effect on people that earn minimum wage, that millions of people would benefit from it. So David Cooper says that workers affected by raising the minimum wage to $15 by 2024 are 37.4 million adults, 26.1 million full-time workers, 23.1 million women, 11.6 million parents, 4.5 million single parents, and 19 million children. 19 million children whose parents will get a raise. Going back to how it would have a positive effect on socio-economic. Increasing minimum wage would reduce crime rates. So Williams-Latingua says that higher wages for low-skilled workers reduce both property and violent crimes, as well as crimes among adolescents. The impact of wages on crime is substantial. A 10% increase in wages for non-college educated men results in approximately a 10 to 20% reduction in crime rate. Lastly, I would like to say that California's minimum wage increase is not as dramatic as people are claiming. Allison Anderson says that California's plan to raise the state's minimum wage is not nearly as dramatic as some has claimed. A $15 minimum wage in 2022 is worth about $13 in 2016 dollars, which means that the plan will increase the minimum wage over 6 years by a total of about 30%, after adjusting for inflation. An increase of this magnitude is comparable to the wage hike implemented in the mid-90s, when federal and state legislation boosted California's minimum wage from $4.25 in 1995 to $5.75 in 1988, a 28% increase in inflation-adjusted terms. But the current plan to reach $15 by 2022 actually represents a more gradual annual percentage increase. Thank you.